Module 1, Property Sourcing 101. What is property sourcing? Property sourcing is where you find property deals for investors that will generate them a very good return. Something that is going to look appealing on paper, something that's going to have great headline information. So for example, purchase price 50,000, refurb 25,000, done up value 100k to 125k. Something where a property deal is going to make a good return on investment for your investor. So that's either through multiple strategies, so buy, refurb, refinance strategy, flip, HMO conversions, all them sort of property strategies that are straight to the point, direct, and everybody knows what they are. So property sourcing, you find a property deal, you get that property deal secured, you then present this property deal within an investor pack, which we'll be providing you. Within the investor pack, it'll have all of the headline information. So this is property address, refurb, numbers, photos, sold comparables, any form of valuations, rental comparables, everything in an investor pack to support your numbers to justify to your investor / client exactly why you're going to be charging them a reservation fee to secure that property, or a sourcing fee, whichever way you want to call it. So how does it work? How it works is you will find a property deal. You'll either get this secured via the agent by offering on that property, or if it's direct to vendor, you'll get an agreed purchase price with them. What we mean by secured is that the property is secured to you and nobody else has access to that property. So you've got it agreed with the agent at £100,000, or if it's direct to vendor, you've got it agreed with the vendor at £100,000 and it's exclusive to you. Once you've got it agreed and secured to you, you then create an investor pack, all the headline information, and then you will sell it to an investor for a fee, so a sourcing fee. So why would people buy a property deal from you if they can go out and find a property deal themselves? The very simple and straight point answer here is the investors that you'll be sourcing property deals for simply can't find the property deal, they don't have the time, or the very busy people, working professionals that want to invest but just simply don't have the time. The income potential of property sourcing is highly looked over. So what I mean by that is, for example, if you just do some quick numbers on property sourcing, let's say you sold one property deal per month for £5,000 and you did that for a whole year. That's only one property deal and that's only one fee just for finding the property deal. You'd make £60,000 in 12 months, in 1 year. If you did 2 of them deals per month, you would make £120,000. And you can see where I'm going, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. So what I've successfully been doing for the last 5 years is easily selling 2 property deals per month. And that's not even touching on the additional fees that you add on top of that for multiple other services like using a build team, lettings and sales, setting up licenses. There's multiple things we can go into. But for example there, if you were to sell 2 property deals per month for the next 12 months, you'd make £120,000. With this strategy, there's very minimal outgoing costs. So effectively, that out of that 120,000, majority of that, at least 90% of that, is going to be your net profits. Legal and compliance basics. To be a property deal sourcer within the UK, there is multiple compliance you need to meet. Effectively, you're acting like an estate agency. So you need to follow the Estate Agency Act 1979, and there's a few things that we can go through. In the resources section, there is a checklist for all your compliances, so you can work through that, tick through it, and you'll know exactly what you need to do to be a compliant deal sourcer. Firstly, you'll need to register your new company, your new limited company with Companies House. Secondly, you'll need to register for anti-money laundering regulations, and that is done through the HMRC. You'll need to obtain professional indemnity insurance. This is to protect you. You'll need to join a property readdress scheme, so you have to do this, and this is what will help you if there is any mediation that needs to take place, or if there's any problems with the client and it needs to be resolved. The property readdress scheme will help you. So there's a few places you can go, for example the PRS, property readdress scheme, or there is the property ombudsman. There's multiple readdress schemes you can go to, but like I said, it'll all be in the chat sheet. You'll need to register with the ICO. This is for GDPR compliance, so this is when you're holding clients' information. So you need to make sure that all of your clients' information is held securely. All of this is on their website, but again, it'll be in the link. You'll need to have adequate contracts when you source properties. So when you source a property to a client, they'll need to sign a contract so they're fully aware of all your terms and conditions. So this will have your cooling off period within it. And marketing compliance. So this is something that you need to be aware of when marketing property deals. At the end of the day, you're not part of any kind of financial company, and you do not want to be seen to be giving financial advice to anybody. So this is exactly why we'll be offering all of this within the resource section. Why compliance matters. So you need to be compliant. Also, the number one thing here is investors will be asking for your details and they'll want to know you're a compliant deal sourcer. This basically gives you some accreditation within the sector that you're fully compliant. There's also a lot of fines if you don't abide by these. So I highly advise you follow the compliance and you stick to everything in the Estate Agency Act 1979. But I will provide you with the check sheet. So summarising property sourcing 101, we've discussed what is property sourcing. You find a property, get it secured, you then package it up, you have a reservation, so you have a sourcing fee. So the sourcing fee is for all your time finding that property, and then you sell this property deal to an investor for that fee. We covered how it works, so from sourcing a property to then selling the property deal to an investor. The income potential, so I mentioned that if you sell a deal for £5,000 over 12 months, that's going to generate you £60,000. If you double that, that depends on just, if you add on an extra deal every month, it's going to double that figure. We spoke about compliancy, which is the number one thing you need to do if you want to set up on your own and be a completely compliant deal sourcer. And then we also spoke about how you will receive a check sheet. So the check sheet will be within the resources. This will all be provided to you at a later date, or it will be within this folder. Bonus video. So I've just mentioned all the compliancy to become a property deal sourcer. So typically it's normally around £2,000 to set up to be a compliant deal sourcer. That's just to get all your compliance, and that is an annual figure. However, if you want to get straight into deal sourcing, you're finding deals, you want to go straight away but you don't want to have that initial outlay, you can simply co-source. You can approach a property sourcing company which is already compliant and they can sell your deal to their investor list. They'll want a lot of your sourcing fee because at the end of the day they've got all the investors and they're compliant. Typically you should receive between half of the fee to 25% of the sourcing fee for that service. So obviously you are going to be losing out on a lot of profits there when you don't have your current investor list, or you're not fully compliant. But if you want to get straight into this, generate enough money to pay for your compliancy, that is a good route to go down. Thank you again for joining the course. Let's get into it.